What the Navy used to do when they were out at sea and they'd come back, if they had a carrier, they'd send a flight of their fighters in first. And that's what they did. 7 of them, and they lost every one of the 7. It's everybody with a gun, with boom, 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 boom.
And they didn't realize they were actually American fighter planes.
No, we didn't know that. Didn't know that at all.
No communication. Things were in chaos. There were
absolutely
bombers that were on fire. There were ships that were on fire and sunk.
Oh, lots of ships. Yeah, they wiped out our Navy. They wiped out all the fighter planes on the island at Wheeler Field. They destroyed all their fighters. The Marines lost all their fighters, and well, the Army, we were the Army then, Army Air Corps, lost all their fighters at Wheeler Field, and it was scary. I kind of wondered at the time, why in the world did I ever do this? Well, it got quiet. And the next day it was peaceful. The only thing they had to say to us was, don't drink the water. The water's poisoned. And the nests get orange pop. Came in with a load of orange drink, and this is all fluid you may have. If you brush your teeth, use the orange juice. So that.
Now you took the B-18 up on the day of the initial attack.
Yes.
That afternoon.
Yes.
Why the delay between the time of the attack and the actual time you were able to get those planes in the air?
You couldn't get off the ground. The Japs were in control.
They were still in control.
Yeah, they were shooting up everything. They strafed the barracks. They strafed the residences. And
matter of fact, wasn't there a bomb that went off on one of the ships that was very close to that hangar where you were, that initial destroyed the battleship very close to where you were?
Well, yeah, I was just down the street a ways.
You could just see it, basically.
Yeah, you could see it.
Did you take that B-18 up again after the initial time you went up and found no Japanese
Well, I don't
fighter?
know if I took that same one, but they immediately transferred all the B-18s to Bellows Field, which is on the eastern end of Oahu. And we did all the patrolling from then until later. But
And that attack wasn't just centered on Pearl Harbor, was it?
Oh,
They
no.
attacked Hickam
everything.
and everything basically in that island chain.
That's right. They destroyed all the planes at Wheeler Field, and at the Navy had the Marine fighter planes there. They were all destroyed. And it was just utter chaos.
When did you get initial word of what had happened, official word of what had happened, Mike?
Official?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or did you ever get it?
I don't remember ever getting it.
What about the radio traffic or hearing on the radio? Because then there were the bulletins on radio and such as that. Talk about that a bit.
Yeah, they were on the radio, the stations from the city of Honolulu. And they said there was something happening in the area, and they said planes are bombing and strafing. But we never heard anything really. Of course, I knew what was going on by then.
Yeah.
There was no doubt about it. But after the first raid, Eddie Robbins and I, we didn't have our gas mask. We were supposed to wear your gas mask all the time, have it hanging on you. So it got quiet, so we said, well, let's go get our, and we didn't have our tin hats. So I said, let's go get our hats and our gas masks. So we went over to the barracks, and boy, oh boy, the great mystery of World War II for me. Where my bed used to be, sat a can of Planters peanuts. Planters peanuts. And it had 17 black pennies in it. Now, I don't know what happened, but we found out later that 2 bombs came through the roof and the 3rd floor and exploded right where I lived. So everything was, I don't know what happens to all that stuff, but it disappears.
Just gone.
Yeah, it vaporizes.
Including the bed that you slept on.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Couldn't find the bed, couldn't find my wall locker, couldn't find my foot locker. Well, getting back to the peanuts, I had put that can of peanuts in my wall locker tray and locked it. And yet, there it was, sitting on the floor where my bed used to be.
No locker, just the can of peanuts.
Just a can of peanuts. That was my biggest mystery of World War II.
Talk about the close call you had while you were in the plane and no oxygen.
What happened?
What happened? How did that come about?
Well, we got a new airplane. It was brand new, B-17, and they have to come through well, they check it out. Evidently didn't check it out very good because we found out later after we passed out that there was no oxygen in those lines at the waist guns. So Eddie, Gene, whatever his name was, and we both went to sleep.
From lack of oxygen.
You just go to sleep. It's a neat way to go. But we were rescued by Frucci, the engineer.
The engineer noticed that you guys were unconscious.
He saw us laying on the floor and he wondered what in the world, are they injured or something? And he come back and he knew what happened, so he went and got an oxygen bottle, a walk-around bottle, and brought us back. So we repaid him later on. We saved him. Yeah, he was stuck down in the ball turret gun, and he couldn't get out, so we had to practically saw his way out of that.
Was it jammed or had it been damaged in a
Well,
attack?
we were damaged. We were the last plane in the formation, and we had #1 engine that was shot out by the ACAC fire, and it cut all the wiring to the Bombay, and the hydraulic lines were cut, so nothing worked. We made it. We got. I wasn't really scared. I thought it was exciting.
Even though here you're trying to land this, it was B-17 then, right?
No, it was B-18.
This was the 18.
Yeah.
And yet you can't unload those bombs, and you've got a damaged plane, and you're trying to land, and this is exciting.
Well, yeah, it was kind of exciting, but there's different kinds of excitement, you know. Well, anyway,
Well, let's just say, Mike, that there are very few of us who would trade places with you at that particular point, I think.
No.
Because of what you were facing.
Well, I was there. I mean, it just happened because I was there. I didn't do anything heroic. It just happened.
You just going with the flow and trying to go minute to minute.
Like the time I was sitting on the new outhouse and the sniper was shooting at me. Well, I was lucky, or he was a poor shot.
That was at Hickam.
No, that was at Guadalcanal.
Guadalcanal. Because after that, and we need to explore that as well, after you left Pearl Harbor, you were transferred then from Pearl?
No, it wasn't at Pearl. I was at Hickam.
Okay, I mean at Hickam, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were transferred over to Bellows Field, which was a halfway airport. And we became the sole search and rescue planes. And we were there for quite a while.
How'd you wind up at Midway?
Well, Midway, May the 31st, or the 30th, whenever Memorial Day was that year, we were called into operations, and all the crews were called in. And they wanted a volunteer to go on a secret mission, just like in a book. Huh? So, Lieutenant, what's his name? I forgot his name. He volunteered. So, they packed us up, put us on a plane. We didn't know where we were going. And we were out a couple of 100 miles, and the pilot got on the interphone and he said, I can tell you where we're going now. We're going to Midway. One of our Navy submarines has discovered an invasion force coming out of Wake towards Midway, and we're going to try to stop them. Oh my goodness. So we got to Midway, and we were greeted by a bunch of happy Marines. Everybody was having a good time. You know, that was late in the afternoon, and we bombed up for one try. And we went out, it was about 600 miles. 600 miles, and there they were, 3 lines of Japanese ships, mostly landing ships. And I said to St. Jean, I said, boy, our bombardier, he can't miss that. I mean, there they were, about 25 or so ships in the nice rows.
3 lines.
3 lines. We still don't to this day figure out how he missed. Didn't hit a damn thing. So, going back, we were in a flight. And going back to where we thought we were going to go, to Midway, we come into a weather front, and all of a sudden there was no visibility, and we were lost. And the pilot calls me up and he says, Schaefer, call somebody and find out where we are. Well, I didn't have any information because only the lead ship carried that vital information. But I knew how to get Pearl Harbor. So I zeroed my transmitter to their frequency, called them up, and told them my situation. And they said, well, we can only give you the one point, like from their point to me, we're on that line. We didn't have anybody to cross it over to see where on that line we were. So I told them, I said, well, we're in trouble. Well, we can't help you. So I messed around with the radio, and I heard a strong signal, and I zeroed my transmitter on and called them up, and it was Midway. But they still wouldn't give us information because we didn't know the code. To answer their challenge,
Yeah,
they
afraid that you might not be an American.
They challenge you, and you better have the answer right there. It goes off the air. But I turned around on my receiver, and pretty soon I heard this strong signal. I said, well, that's got to be Midway. And I zeroed in my transmitter to that and gave them a call, and they challenged me. I didn't have the answer. And I told them our situation, and then there was a pause, and then there was a pause, and then finally he called back and he said, you are such and such miles from Midway, and if you fly so degrees, you'll be in here in a short time. And we were,
Got back safely.
Yeah, got back safely.
Did you go out again, or did they send other planes out looking for those landing craft?
We went out the next morning, but we were interrupted by a radio message that the Jap task force was sighted. And we are to return and bomb up and get as much as we can carry and go out to the task force, which we did. And we took we always had this 800-gallon gas tank for emergency, so they took that out and put more bombs on the plane. Then we took off right away, and in a short time at all, I looked out there and I saw the biggest group of ships I've ever seen. From horizon to horizon, nothing but Japanese Navy.
All Japanese Navy.
All Japanese Navy, yeah. You know. Well, we were unfortunate. On the bomb run, we were tail end Charlie, and we got hit right away, and it knocked out what I told you before, the electrical wiring to the bomb bay and the hydraulic lines. So we were kind of helpless. And then we were attacked by 2 Jap Zeros, and I shot one of them down. Boy, that was something. I got a hit. That was exciting.
Where were you in the gun
On the,
turret?
I wasn't in the turret. I was on the waist gun.
Oh, okay.
I was on the right waist gun.
Right side.
And guess I got lucky.
Made it back to the base at Midway.
Yes. Made it back to the base at Midway, and Midway was destroyed. I mean, it was anything that burned was burned. You know, a brand new gas station. We had a modern gas station. Pull your plane up, stick it in there, and push a button. It was destroyed. So we had the bucket brigade, bucket by bucket. It takes a while. And
And Midway was destroyed by the Japanese?
oh yeah, yeah.
And that was all that was left, basically.
It was, well, we still had the air base. The pilot, he said he didn't look like the situations are too good for us. We're going back to Hawaii. And we were wondering if he could do that, you know. That's kind of contrary to military discipline. Just make up your mind about something so dreadful. But he said, we'll take the gas we have and we'll go back to Kauai. That's the Western Island. And he said, we may have to ditch if we don't have enough gas. But we didn't.
Made it back to Hawaii.
We made it to Kauai and found a fighter strip. And we landed and put another B-17 out of commission. We went this way, destroyed the wings.
On the landing.
Yeah, on the landing.
But survived the landing.
Yeah. Next day they brought us a brand new B-17 and sent us back to Midway. Well, the only thing exciting happened after that was playing with the Goonie birds.